on religion, gender, and sense of belonging and unbelonging in South Asian context. I should also thank you for saying some good words about me. I like those words, but no, I don't like so many words, good words about me. So one line is enough. But anyway, you must have done some homework. I respect your homework. Yeah. I am particularly very pleased, Professor Siti, for having come here after COVID. It was on earlier occasion, Professor A.K. Ramakrishnan and Professor Sanal Mohan did invite me for some day, and Rekha, of course, is sitting there. And I had the chance to join online with Professor Siti, celebrating the retirement of Professor Sanal Mohan. And it was simply I must share with those people who are not the part of that celebration, that it was one of the best tribute that we paid to Professor Sanal Mohan. Intellectually loaded, serious exercise that was done, and I'm particularly very happy to see him again in the hall. Thank you, Sanal, for having come here. The point that Professor Siti was raising is absolutely important. On the 8th of March, in feminism, you actually do not have, you have to cross boundaries. And your personal details are also not personal. They are very much collective and morally desirable. They are in that sense universal. And you are very right that earlier people from different faiths would have common interest in decent human being. That's why people from other religions broke coconuts in the interest of well-being of yours. Now that after 43 years of the passage of time and space, you see a very different change. People are raising fences around them. One fence is from the neoliberal individualism, the other one is communitarianism. So I have the intention to focus only on the second part of this conference, that is belonging and unbelonging, because that is so crucial as far as I can see the issue. Now, people from the liberal perspective and neoliberal perspective actually belong to themselves. They don't belong to anybody else. They are driven by their, as C.B. Macpherson, the great philosopher, would say, they are possessed by their own individualism, their own interests. They don't see beyond themselves. That's one kind of problem. That is not an innocent problem, given the fact these guys will vote for the right-wing parties. And I hope Kerala is safe. I don't know, but I'm just crossing my fingers. So that's one problem. So we're not safe with this some kind of a unwarranted belonging to possessive individualism. Unwarranted belonging to possessive individualism. You are possessed by your own interest. Others don't actually matter for you. You don't really care for others. And you can see this indifference. Actually, the concept of indifference goes very well with the concept of possessive individualism. And how do I explain this to you? If you go to a restaurant as an individual, you just don't care for any other person but your own interest. The waiter is waiting for you to take the order. You don't actually take due cognizance of this person. He or she is standing there. You just don't take any due cognizance of this person. He or she doesn't exist for you. You are so much engrossed. Actually, you are engrossed in your cell phone anyway, but you have no time. Unless that person actually drops the plate on the floor and creates a very strident noise. But that is not happening. So one problem is absolutely with neoliberal framework within which the self-serving, self-engrossed individual is actually ruling. And I don't know whether this is a defining character of middle class, because middle class will always belong to a peer group, belonging to a peer group of like-minded people, people who are equally talented. And those formations also there on the university campuses. There is a group among the students who actually belong to that kind of a peer group, talented group, and which is actually against the democratic egalitarian thrust of the university. So that's really one problem I'm just trying to flag. And communitarians, as Professor Siti has very rightly and very movingly actually said, that there is no crossing, there is no pluralism anymore existing, there is no passage. There is no passage of Maitri, love, friendship, you can call anything, friendship, love from Christian framework, friendship from Buddhism. It is actually that those resources are depleting fast. And in the context of that, conferences like this really make so much of significance as far as I can see them. And community actually, where for the individual, the reason comes from the market. Who makes that person individual oriented? The reason, and as they say, instrumental reason, rational, it comes from the market. I am attached to market and symbolism of market, advertisements of market. I look at cell phone because it's there. You are so much engrossed into it. You don't really bother about. You don't have time for your own family members. If you really believe in terms of family, and feminists may take serious objection to this, and I may go with them to some extent. And I'm happy that you made that point on CCC. Communitarians have this self-confidence to generate a reason of belonging to the community. Because community is providing all sakha, virtues, values, family, caste communities, cultural communities, and even religious communities. But you also have communities like Khap Panchayat. Then there is a problem, isn't it? The reason which is liberating from within, no problem. It gives enough spaces for women to flourish. But the question is that space possible anymore? Are there, as Professor Siti said, internal constraints developed? And therefore, if the reason, democratic reason which is sufficiently favorable to enjoy your freedom from within the community, you have no problem. If it is absent, then what do? You have to get reason from outside, and maybe through constitution. And you very rightly said, constitution provides reason for you to organize yourself to enjoy your freedom within the community. But that is also a problem, because undemocratic character of communities is actually ruling. It is becoming almost sovereign to control your life chances, life world, life practices, everyday nature of practices. All that is happening. In the context of this danger, I think the conference would really make a very, very serious note for us to take home. So this is, I think, the initial comment I would make in terms of the theme of the conference. But I'm going to focus only on the, how much time do I have? Another 20 minutes?
I think so.
Okay. So, I have done something.
Okay. 20 minutes plus discussion.
Okay, then I'll just make some quick points. I had sent title to Hamida that I'll speak on the phenomenology of gender justice, but that word I'm going to avoid. This is very, very cumbersome. Why should I use that word? But anyway, I am also fashionable, as many Delhi scholars are fashionable. And the AK and Saidaji will agree with me. The main focus of my talk would be to seek elaboration on two core concepts. There are only two core concepts in this. One is the concept of belonging, and the other concept is relief and not belief. Of course, belief is there, but relief. Now, belonging, of course, is a very, very amorphous, wide-ranging concept. Belonging to family, belonging to community, belonging to the nations, belonging to the world. And I have no address when I belong to the world. All those things are there. People have written about. I come from nowhere. That's one position that people take. I belong to this philosophical system. I belong to that ideological framework. I belong to this cultural group. I belong to that region, and all that. And so I'm not going to do anything about those expressions I have mentioned. But I would say, when Indian Constitution has given you some framework to belong to a nation, for example, if you want to take that, and now you are forced to say that you belong to this nation. I would like to contest this position, and our debate on freedom in JNU 2016. Who has really got the authority to say that you belong to this nation? Is the authority lying with the state or extra constitutional organizations? I think we need to contest this notion, this authority that is forcing you to say that you belong to this particular nation. I'm saying, when Indian Constitution has given you some provisions to belong, you agreed to belong to this nation. You accepted to belong to this nation. In 1947 or 26th of January 1950, we adopted this constitution. We have actually mutually accepted, agreed, irrespective of caste, religion, everything, we have accepted as the citizens of this country to belong to this nation. So it is a constitutional provision that gives me almost a natural right to belong to a nation. No one can dictate to belong to this nation. No one can put me on probation to belong to this nation. No one can put me in to take the examination of nationalism and they will be sitting on the judgment. But that's not accepted. In Constitution will not permit that. So this is the point. When you please remember, I remember to myself, look here, I have agreed without any compulsion to belong to this nation because I have agreed with others to belong to this nation. If that is the constitutional fundamental provision that I need to keep in mind all the time, when somebody is actually subjecting me to some kind of a coercive nationalism, I must be careful about this. I must invoke Constitution, which is also facing some serious danger. So that's one point. What is this we, therefore? The preamble to the Constitution, actually, opening line is we the people. What is this we? Is it not sense of sufficient belonging? Sufficient sense of belonging, and I would say belongingness. It is, I belong, because we are we, irrespective of any other injunction or intervention from outside. We the people. But problem with the people is this. As Professor Partho Chatterjee says, the word we, which is basically by thrust, moral thrust, is belonging. We belong to each other. Without anybody's favor, we belong to each other. That is the power that Constitution has given us. I mean, we define ourselves as belonging beings. We belong to each other through our commitment to, moral commitment to constitutions and the values that are there in the Indian Constitution. But this we, as Professor Partho Chatterjee would say, isn't, and he's using that word, I'm just quoting him, he says, we, the people, we, is floating, empty signifier. Is it sufficiently confusing? It is. I mean, not that, but this, no disrespect to person. Are you recording? You shouldn't really. You just please erase this if you don't mind. Okay. Now it's very important. He has a very serious complaint about this we. He says, and I agree with him completely, that we is an empty signifier in the sense that it is vacuous. It's an empty word. It's an abstract word. We doesn't have any kind of a concrete sense to it. It becomes concrete, the we becomes concrete, a very concrete formation when people are allowed to enjoy freedom, all different kinds. The we acquire this normative content. Let me repeat it slowly. This we acquires this normative content when actually people are able to enjoy freedom of different kinds. Therefore, people are not able to enjoy freedom, therefore the we is seemingly empty. Many people in this country are invisibilized through NRC. Through NRC. You are actually emptying out this normative content of this we, the word we. Okay, emptying out. NRC is one big thing. And there you can use several examples to see that how this emptying out is taking place on an everyday basis. You are being actually chained to your specific context. You don't really belong to everywhere. You belong to a very subjugated context or identity. Now, since there was a reference, I think the concept note that was sent to me by Hamida mentions that Scheinberg. I would like to reason out with you, or that it is Scheinberg movement that is filling in the content. What is this? What are these women saying there? They are saying, look here, we need to have freedom, to have one, to exist as one institutionally, I'm just using these words, institutionally, constitutionally integrated citizens. There is no fragmentation in my citizenship. I am one integrated citizen. There is no degree in my citizenship. Constitution doesn't say that you are second class, third class and fourth class citizens. Do you not hear this language? Who decides who is the first class citizen, who is not second class? Who decides I don't want your vote? This is some kind of the arrogance that we face. So Scheinberg protest is saying that look here, we are one. There is an assertion, we are one integrated citizens. Don't fragment us. Point one. Point second, filling the content of we. We actually not. This is not our arbitrary declaration. It's not our arbitrary declaration or our claims. It is actually given by the Constitution. Therefore, Constitution and Ambedkar's photo is there in Scheinberg. Isn't it? So movements, and in the opening remarks, the person who read out this concept note said, we have this, we have movements, protests, and that those are important protests and movements. But the Scheinberg movement is specifically is important to fill in the context, make it more concretized from the abstract. It's no more abstract. It is very, very concretized. So movements. This seminar is going to fill up this content. Fill up this empty we with the content. I am just pleading. This is an urgent plea that can we really give some very normative content to this otherwise empty category called we. And women, and I'm not privileging them, everybody should take lead to do this. This is the first reflection on belonging. So belonging is not simply some fancy or colloquial word. It's not simply a applied concept is deeply normative concept. So belonging, it's a normative concept, and therefore you have belonging actually makes classification possible, and therefore you have 7 darshanas in Indian in Indian philosophical system. 7 darshanas, 7 philosophical system, because you belong to somebody. You get your identity, philosophical, theoretical identity, and likewise you have the Anglo-Saxon philosophy, the continental and the American, with their own different focus on, and quickly sir, Anglo-Saxon will focus on freedom, rights and equality, and French, the continental, which is very close to feminism of a certain kind, body is very close to them, and American is about justice. So this is roughly division. So belonging actually can be played out differently at different levels of your imagination and abstraction. Second point. Now close there. In the middle, can I drink some water with your permission?
Yeah.